Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7 FM.com. Here is the Z107.7 Local News for Friday, September 19th, 2025. An RV fire in Johnson Valley was extinguished with no injury. On Thursday morning, San Bernardino County fire engines responded to a report of a fire near the intersection of Joshua Tree Road and Oleta Road in Johnson Valley. Arriving crews described the incident as an RV fully on fire, spreading to two nearby vehicles and threatening a home. A witness told Z107.7 that propane tanks were heard exploding inside of the RV, and neighbors attempted to put out the fire with a garden hose. The full response included 2 engines and a water tender from County Fire, along with 2 additional engines from CAL FIRE. The fire was extinguished before it could spread to the house. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation, and San Bernardino County Fire says that it is not being investigated as suspicious. Heavy rain hit the high desert yesterday, and several roads heading out of the Morongo Basin remain closed this morning due to flooding. The California Highway Patrol has advised that Amboy Road is closed between National Trails Highway and Godwin Avenue. State Route 247 is closed north of Lucerne Valley due to mud and rocks in the road resulting from the heavy rain. A proposed expansion of the Marine Corps' special use airspace could impact the Morongo Basin's culture of off-roading, including an annual event that brings tens of thousands of visitors to the high desert. The possibility of a year-round takeover of the airspace has caught the attention of off-roaders, airports, and our district's congressional representative. Online news editor Robert Hayden picks up the story from here.
The sight and sounds of military aircraft flying over the high desert shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who's spent any time out here. The Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center is located just outside 29 Palms, but their training area of operations stretches all the way west to Johnson Valley, where the Marine Corps conduct occasional training operations on over 50,000 acres of shared public land. That also includes the airspace above it, and during those training operations, public access is restricted from the surface to the sky. Under a newly proposed Marine Corps action, current aircraft operations at the Combat Center would spread out across the existing special use airspace. The current number of annual aircraft training missions, known as sorties, would increase as a result. That expansion has caught the attention of residents who enjoy off-highway vehicle recreation in Johnson Valley, as well as nonprofit organizations such as the Blue Ribbon Coalition, which has called for the public to oppose the expansion. 23rd District Representative Jay Obernolte also brought out the issue before Congress earlier this week. Obernolte says that while he fully supports the desire for expanded training operations, the restrictions on civilian airspace is an overreach.
We want to make sure the Marine Corps has access to all of the airspace they need to conduct their operations. But, Mr. Speaker, they are going about it in an extremely troubling way, which would restrict the public's access to that effectively full-time, despite the fact that the Marine Corps only proposes to make use of this airspace 60 or fewer days. The problem with this is it's going to have a devastating impact on 4 local area airports, as well as operations in the adjacent Johnson Valley, which is home to the King of the Hammers, one of the largest off-roading races in the world, and one in which over 80,000 spectators enjoy every year in my district.
Representative Obernolte proposed a temporary flight restriction on days that the Marines proposed to use it, which would then be communicated to all local users of the airspace. While speaking before Congress on September 14th, Representative Obernolte proposed a solution that he says has already been requested 4 years ago.
In the National Defense Authorization Act in 2021, we directed the Department of Defense and the FAA to work together to develop a system to digitally inform the public, and they were given 6 months to do that. And Mr. Speaker, this is not reinventing the wheel. This delivery already exists for temporary flight restrictions. This would just be extending it to the restricted areas. 4 years later now, the DoD and the FAA have still not acted on this. My amendment simply conditions the Marine Corps' issuance of a new restricted area on compliance with the direction of Congress that we've already given them 4 years ago.
On the website detailing the proposed expansion, the Marine Corps say that there would be no change to the public's access to the Johnson Valley shared use area, which makes up about half of the 96,000 acres of OHV land that is maintained by the Bureau of Land Management. You can see this story on our website for links to the organizations mentioned here. That's all at Z107.7 FM.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
You'll be in heaven tonight with Summer of '69, a tribute to Bryan Adams. They will do it for you at Tortoise Rock Casino's free Live at the Rock event, and the music is coming straight from the heart. This free concert will also feature barbecue plates, tacos, and casino games. You won't want to miss this. Live at the Rock continues every other Friday night at Tortoise Rock Casino, so bring a lawn chair and get set for fun with tonight's free concert series. The 29 Queer Film Festival kicks off tonight with a block of horror films and a after party. Come down to Theater 29 on the corner of Adobe Road and Sullivan Road for short horror films. Expect to howl and hoot at bloodthirsty oranges, killer drag queens, and even a crab man. You'll find that and much more in this queer horror block. The gala will be hosted by Hot Dog Frank and feature performances by Obsidian Absurd, Darren Wave, and Botox Rocks. Free Rocky's Pizza will be available, and there will be a raffle with prizes from Desert Rat Roasters, Very Very, and JT Distilling Company. After the film portion of the evening, head to Yucca Valley for the after party at Tiny Pony Tavern. The 29 Queer Film Festival has teamed up with Horse Girl for a one-of-a-kind drag show. Here's festival organizers Graham Colbeans and Jonathan Colatone.
We noticed last year people really liked drag films and people really loved like anything having to do with the desert, and they wanted to celebrate the local people. So we basically just took those lessons, made them their own blocks, made them galas.
Yeah, so we've got a great after party at the Tiny Pony. It's a collaboration with the monthly drag party Horse Girl, hosted by Obsidian Absurd. We're going to be screening films there. There's going to be a whole bunch of drag entertainers.
The 29 Queer Film Festival runs all weekend long. Visit their website, 29QFF.com, for information on tickets and events. The Landers Record Fair is popping up in Flamingo Heights tomorrow. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., you can find new and vintage vinyl records, along with merchandise, clothing, and collectibles from your favorite local vendors, all at the Flamingo Heights Community Center. Expect cocktails, mocktails, tea, and lemonade from Desert Midnight Lemonade. Entry is free. The Landers Record Fair will be happening 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Flamingo Heights Community Center, located at 55977 Paris Street. The Boys and Girls Club of the Morongo Basin holds their annual Blue and White Gala tomorrow night. This year, the nonprofit says their Desert Bloom theme celebrates the strength, spirit, and generosity of our incredible community. The annual event is more than just a fundraiser. They say it's a party with a purpose. Expect a laid-back evening with live music from Los Poncho Tones and guests, food from some of the basin's best businesses, inspiring stories from Boys and Girls Club members and their families, and a silent auction full of goodies gathered from all over the community. Come as you are or get gussied up in your best desert wear, whether that's cowboy boots, trucker hats, desert boho, or just your favorite pair of jeans. Just this year, the Boys and Girls Club of the High Desert had over 34,000 youth visits. The nonprofit provides mentorship, meals, enrichment, and a whole lot of love to High Desert kids. With recent federal funding cuts, the club says that your support means more than ever. You can reserve tickets now for tomorrow's event, which will be at the Boys and Girls Club Gymnasium in Yucca Valley, beginning at 5:30 and running until 9. Tickets are $65, and you can get them at a link in this story at Z107.7 FM.com. And finally, the girls' volleyball teams from 29 Palms High School and Yucca Valley High School faced off yesterday in Yucca Valley. In junior varsity action, the Lady Cats bested the Trojans in 2 sets, 25-18 and 25-20. The Trojans won in varsity, beating the Lady Cats in 3 sets, 22-25, 16-25, and 19-25. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.